What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on, NFL world? How you doing, division rivals? This is Stephen Hyder with Gate City Sports Channel, the sports channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever it is you get around to watching this. Once again, guys, my name is Stephen Hyder, and this is Gate City Sports Channel. All right, y'all, today's topic. Listen, I have heard the rumblings, guys. I know a lot of y'all have been asking me for quite a few weeks now if I could possibly go ahead and take a look and give a definitive statement about what I think about Elijah Holyfield's film. All right, guys, I had an opportunity to do it. I apologize that it took me so long to get around to this, guys, but man, these things kind of stack up as we went through the draft, and then, we had the, undrafted rookie free agent sign. Like, it gets difficult to kind of stack these film sessions together, guys. But all right, y'all, today's topic, we're going to talk about Elijah Holyfield, running back, University of Georgia. Now, Elijah Holyfield, just to kind of get into setting the basis of what I saw from him. To begin with, this is a kid I think has great potential to be a one-gap running back at the NFL. One-gap, guys, just basically means someone who's going to get north and south, right? And he's going to challenge the 1-3 on the left side of the hole, or left side of the offense, and then the 2 and 4 holes on the right side of the offense, okay? Now, what I will say for you guys in here is he surprised me a little bit, guys. Elijah Holyfield has more athleticism than I thought. And one of the key takeaways you're probably going to get from me today when it comes to Elijah Holyfield and what I saw from him on film, guys, I got to be honest. I was pleasantly surprised with just how good his vision is in the backfield. He sees the holes very well. That is definitely a strength. And I got to tell you, if you're going to play a running back and you want to have a strength, seeing the field well and seeing the blocking scheme well and knowing what hole to hit, that's a good thing to do. All right, y'all, without further ado, let's jump into today's topic, Elijah Holyfield. All right, y'all, let's roll the film.
Great job of showing patience here by Holyfield. He's extending the play, sees a lane, cuts back. Kentucky.
All right, ladies and gents, if we're going to talk about Elijah Holyfield, if we're going to talk about what I think is the fit and feel for Philadelphia, we must first have a deeper conversation about blocking schemes, particularly to the running game. So, the Eagles are a bit of a hybrid scheme, okay? I wouldn't call us a zone blocking scheme, nor would I call us a, traditional or a purist when it comes to gap blocking. We're a hybrid. We'll use both, okay? Zone blocking, you got to know there's two different types of zone blocking. You got an inside zone, and then you have an outside zone. Then you have a third type of blocking zone when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles that you need to know, which is a split zone run. It's kind of that crackback where you see the tight end come back around and pick up the defensive end, guys. All right. When you're looking at zone blocking, guys, and this is one thing I want to make clear, I do think that Elijah Holyfield could be an exceptional zone running back. Zone running backs need to have very good vision, okay? Because what's happening is you're giving them time to really diagnose and see the hole and then get through that hole. So let's start with zone blocking. If you go inside an inside zone, what you're talking about is trying to push defenses vertically, okay? This is when you're trying to set the tone with a defense, okay? When I look at a zone, you can generally tell if it's an inside zone by looking at your right guard. Basically, what ends up happening is you've got to push that nose out of the way, and then you got to either push that 3 or that 5 technique out of the way in an inside zone. Your purpose, normally, do not just look at the running back and think it's inside or outside zone. That can be misleading. Normally speaking, though, in an inside zone, you're running between the tackles. Not always. It has to do with gap, the vision of the running back, and things like that. Guys, watch the double team on the nose tackle, then the X receiver come back and crack back in on the block. Now, if we flip this and we talk about outside zone, now we're talking about pushing defenses laterally, okay? And to do this, what you're trying to do is you're trying to push a defense to one side and pin it inside of that. This is normally when I look to see what's happening with that 4 and 5 technique, okay? Because your guard and your tackles are going to really target that 4 and 5 technique and try to take them out of the hole, out of that assigned hole, okay? Sometimes you'll see guys like they can still run inside, guys. Don't think that just because a running back goes inside, it's not outside zone. But outside zone, because you're kicking that guy out of the hole, you will get to see a little more of like your 5 and 7 holes on the left side. And then if you flip it over to the other side, you'll see a little bit more of your 6 and 8 holes on your right side of the offensive line. Okay? All right, guys, center's 1-on-1 with the nose tackle. The three techniques being taken care of by the guard and tackle, and the X receiver crashes down. I think if you watch this kid, there's a lot of film here that shows you this kid could be very special in a zone blocking system because this young man has exceptional vision. It stands out, guys, on film. This kid sees the holes. He diagnoses the defense and diagnoses the play very well. He has great anticipation. That's invaluable as a running back, guys. Running backs are incredibly hard to break down film on and to judge because so much goes into a running back that is really outside of their own control that sometimes it's just a guy you just know he has the vision. You can see how he's reading and feeling the defense and picking the right hole. I think this kid is an exceptional zone running back.
Talked about it right at the top of the half. The entire defense breaks down. He's the last line of defense. He just gets out.
All right, ladies and gents, let's talk about the split zone running play when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles, guys. This is a staple of our offense. It started back with Chip Kelly and has continued in with Doug Peterson. And the easiest way of identifying this, and I know the picture I have up here isn't exactly giving you context to this, look for the wing formation. Generally speaking, out of the wing formation, what you're going to get is that wing is going to come all the way around the line and hit that other side end. The other thing to look for, guys, is the play side. Play side meaning the direction the play is going in, right? The way the running back's going, the play side of it. You're going to look for your center to basically help take out either a 3 technique or a nose. So he's going to help move him out of that hole to contain him and then get up to the second level to the mic. And then you also got to look for your play side guard. It's normally your right guard, but it could be your left guard technically too. They have to basically get around the face side of that tackle, and they have to keep him from getting in the play. It can be, they can come to an even fight, but they got to keep him from getting in the play. And then you're also going to look for your your tackle or your tight end who's working on the opposite end there. They're going to take out an end, and then they would go up to the next level, guys, and they're going to kick out the other linebacker. All right? So you got one tight end coming way around, the wing back basically coming way around, taking off that end. You got the center helping kick out that 3 technique or that nose tackle, and then getting up to the mic. And then you got your guard, the play action side guard, taking on another defensive tackle one-on-one, holding that block. And then you got your tight end and your tackle on the opposite side of the pulling, essentially where you have that pulling wing coming up, hitting that defensive end, and then getting up to the next level and taking out the next linebacker. This is a very big staple of the Philadelphia Eagles. It's called the split zone run. And if you're going to play in Philadelphia, you have to be able to play this particular running concept.
Initial double team block, moving up to the second level, and that's where you get big runs from when you get.
All right, guys. The last kind of running concept I'll throw out to you outside of just gap blocking that the Eagles will run a lot of, and we got to talk about the fit in the field for whether or not, kids like Holyfield would be a fit here, is the Eagles also, they love to run something that's called a duo concept. A duo concept has some similarity to a split zone. You're going to use a lot of tight ends here. Particularly what happens with duos is you see a lot of bunch formations with it. And the whole point of where split zone is like kind of, it's more of an inside, it's very similar to an inside zone. Well, when you get to a duo, it's very similar to like an outside zone. And basically what you're doing is when you run a duo, guys, you're trying to create as many double teams as possible. Generally speaking, you end up creating about 3 double teams when you're doing that. So you're putting as many blockers as you can on people. So, guys, you got to look for things like your inside zone, your outside zone, your split zone run, and your duo concepts, guys. And the last topic we'll talk about, guys, will be gap blocking.
1-yard return by Hardman, his longest of the year. Handoff from the 41 to Holyfield. Running to the left, outside.
All right. Last topic of the day, as we talk about Elijah Holyfield and his schematical fit here with Philadelphia, is the concept of gap blocking. If you're wondering, Gate, what the heck does that mean? Gap blocking, the easy way I can explain it to you guys is when you're trying to overwhelm a single gap with as many players as you can. You don't have to have pulling guards and things like that to get a gap, but it's common. Anytime you basically see Seomalu pulling, it's a good idea to think that you probably have a gap blocking concept going on. You'll also see they might use tight ends. They could use receivers coming around to do this. It's when you're trying to throw as many people into a single gap assignment as you possibly can to clear it out. You are trying to overwhelm, even if a team has the numbers, you're trying to take as many players as you can in your arsenal and put it in one gap to overwhelm them with the numbers, even if they had the advantage originally. That is the intended purpose of a gap blocking scheme. Guys, watch Dallas Goedert, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and Vaitai all pull on this today. I also think this is where something where Elijah Holyfield could be dangerous in. Because if you overwhelm a hole by sending all these people and you get a downhill runner like Elijah Holyfield, who not only can get physical, this kid is not scared to lower the shoulder and put the boom down, but also a kid that has a little more athleticism like Elijah Holyfield does. I love Jordan Howard. He's one of the best one-gap running backs I've personally watched in Philadelphia. I can tell you this. As much as I like Jordan Howard, I don't think I would say that Jordan Howard is quite as athletic as a guy like Elijah Holyfield. Not that Elijah Holyfield's even in the same conversation, but the athleticism is different. That's where the gap blocking scheme can become a big, big problem for opposing defenses, is when you get a kid like Elijah, Holyfield. So, gap blocking, overwhelm one side of the line, send as many players as you can into that gap, and get that running back downhill through that gap, hopefully reaching the second level.
12-yard line. Moving to our right, handoff, Holyfield. Holyfield powering his way at left tackle.
All right, my final conclusive thoughts about Elijah Holyfield. This is a kid who has great vision, really good feel for the cutback and identifying lanes as a zone running kind of system back. I think he definitely has potential to be a gap, kind of blocking type system back as well. I think he has that potential of getting north to south, getting downhill, and playing physical, bringing that physical element to the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I don't know what I could think, in terms of like the split zone and duo formations. I don't know. There's not a lot on the college film to really dictate that. I will tell you this. I love the fact that the games I watched, Kentucky, Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, good defensive lines, okay? He played against good competition. There's never a surefire translation from college to the pros, but obviously playing against the defensive fronts of the SEC certainly gives you a better idea. I'll say this. We went through 5 different types of schemes today, guys, running schemes. Inside zone, outside zone, split zone, duo formation, gap block. I mean, we went through a lot, guys. I like the kid's potential. But if you want me to give you something to where this kid needs to work, he's not the most elusive back. He doesn't offer a lot of wiggle. Look, he's a little tight in the hips. He doesn't really have that breakaway kind of potential here. But he is more athletic and faster than I thought he would be. So, I like the kid. Still room to work. With that said, I think this kid has a legitimate shot at the roster. I don't think by any stretch of the imagination would I call this a lock, guys. He's got to fight his way on. But if anybody who's coming in off the practice squad of another team or is an undrafted rookie free agent, if you have a legitimate shot at making this football team, it's going to be at running back. So, I think this kid actually does have a legitimate shot, and that's even if the Eagles bring in a veteran presence to be the third back. Basically, he's really be the third back, but to be honest with you, he's the backup in case of emergency back. I still think the Eagles are going to keep 4 backs, and I still think Elijah Holyfield has a chance here. All right, y'all, these are my thoughts. You already know I'm going to ask you. I want to know, what do you think? All right, guys, tell me what you think about Elijah Holyfield. Tell me what you think about the fit, the feel, the scheme. Let me know what your thoughts are, guys. All right, y'all. You know how we end these videos. We do a little something like EAGLES. All right, y'all. Let's go, Eagles.